Women in New York City run in heels all the time. Catching a bus or a cab, late for a meeting. But I'm a guy. And this was on national television. It was the Regis and Kelly show, and they were putting on a race. A 100-yard dash in high heels to raise money for cancer. Almost 1,000 women would run. Not so many guys. With great hesitation, I signed up. It almost fit right in with what has become my new avocation, running marathons to raise money and awareness as a cancer survivor. I've run 10 marathons since my diagnosis 4 years ago, never in high heels. There were some technical issues to overcome. First, I didn't own a pair of high heels, so I had to go shopping. There were strict guidelines. The heel had to be at least 3.5 inches. Of course, I had no idea just how high this actually was when it came to simply standing up in the heels. Forget about running in them. The diameter could be no more than 3 inches. They could be boots, or what I came to learn were called wedges. After several unsuccessful attempts on the internet, I walked into a fancy shoe store in a fashionable part of town. I was going to make the best of it, even if I feared not only falling flat on my face, but also the kind of embarrassment that I must have felt the first time I purchased a box of condoms. The shop owner looked like a retired Israeli army officer. I deepened my voice before explaining what I was planning to do. He listened, nodded, and said that he had just the right shoes.
I figure you want black.
Why?
Goes with everything.
How much are they?
I give you a good price.
That's just when I saw the sticker. $375? Enough to induce a mild coronary.
For you, $100.
It's for charity, I thought, as I forked over my hard-earned cash. It'll be worth it if I win, I fantasized. And I thought perhaps I'd even get to wear them again someday, though I couldn't quite imagine when. I was pleased to discover that the shoes I'd chosen could be stretched to fit my feet more appropriately. I needed more room in the toes, beside the ball of my foot and on the back near my left heel. No one has ever stretched my shoes to make them fit perfectly in a men's store. With shoes in hand, or on foot to be exact, it was time to train. From my marathon experience, I already knew that running shoes have a break-in period before you can race in them. Nothing new on race day, my coach had said so many times now that it was part of my psyche. The problem was where to train. I usually run in Central Park, but a lot of people know me in the park. When I first fell into the role of cancer survivor running, my friends predicted that in time I wouldn't be able to run around the park without being identified and hearing my name called out, and that prediction has come true. So I needed to train in secret. To be honest, need might be too strong a word. It was simple embarrassment that had me training after dark. After all, the event was going to be on television and, on Facebook. Surprisingly, running in high heels was not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. I mean, you sprint forward on the front of your feet anyway. In fact, I found it much harder to walk in heels than to run. Race morning arrived, and it felt like so many other race mornings. I had my race clothes laid out with my Survivor t-shirt on top and the rest of my gear below. The only notable difference from my usual routine was that instead of my standard running shoes, I'd be sporting Italian leather pumps. On the starting line, they approached. TV stars, lights, cameras, and Tim Gunn with a microphone. I'm wearing high heels, remembering that if I can survive cancer, I can suck it up and survive this embarrassment. After all, it's for a good cause, and this is the kind of thing people remember. I'm lined up next to figure skater Johnny Weir, and the crowd is yelling out his name, not mine. I'd like to be invisible, but I've positioned myself right in the middle. It's the best starting position for the sprint, and if I'm doing this for a cause, I have to be seen for it to work. The interview was an exercise in humiliation. I tried to look as masculine as a guy could look wearing high heels. Kind of reminded me of how it felt to wear a hospital gown that didn't quite close in the back. I stood tall, trying to remember what was in my heart, not on my feet. Music was blaring from the speakers, the crowd was dancing, I was ready to get on with the race. The gun sounded, and a college sprinter took the lead, leaving me behind in the first steps. I wouldn't win, but my mission was a success, sort of. My coaches and teammates still tease me about that day, but I guess that goes with the territory. I can't wait to run again next year. Maybe I'll get a new pair of shoes. In red.